Hello, audience. If you have never really understand what, why, or how the internet works, and you're still confused, in still this day you don't know how this internet work, then this is the one video you cannot afford to ignore. And I am serious. Okay, so let's start the game of breaking down in the simplest way possible how the internet works, and let's end this curiosity once and for all. I'm from the Kiss Lab. Yes. So, what's it going on? Okay, like you have got your phone, right? I also got mine, and you have all sort of devices which actually works on the internet, right? So now tell me, what do you think your phone is doing right now while it's just lying in the corner with the internet switched on? What is it doing? Ever thought about what happens when the internet is off? Like, what is it going on in that smartphone? Guys, whenever your phone, laptop, or smartwatch which is connected to the internet, meaning when you recharge your data pack and switch on mobile data or Wi-Fi, that device without asking you starts throwing out fountains of data. Yes, it always throws data. So your device have one very specific work, which is throwing data. Okay, like it is not going to ask you about it. The moment your internet is on, the data transmission started. Okay, so what is this data transmission? It is packets of data, little coded signals, or all around. Okay, so does it always throw data everywhere? The answer is yes. Yes, but only when the internet is on. Okay, so now wait a second. Ash, if the phone is throwing data, where is it going? Great. So there are some major elements of internet. Okay, and this particular page will come out again and again, and this is really a brief understanding of how the hell internet works. Okay, so the thing is that your phone throws data to the tower, then that tower throws the data to ISP, and that ISP verifies that request, and then it goes through your fiber optical cable, and then this fiber optics send the data to the server. Don't worry, we are going through this whole elements. So we will go with very bits of these elements. So where does data go? Okay, the thing is that this data always goes through towers and fiber optic cables. Now here is the thing, there is an example that if you send me a WhatsApp message, okay, your phone converts that message into data signals, into packets, and throw them toward the tower itself, this tower. Yes, so your mobile is always searching for the nearest tower. Okay, so far so good, clear. Your phone, laptop, smartwatch, all of them throw data to the nearest tower. Okay, now what happened next? That tower converts your data into electrical signal and send it to the ISP. Okay, so the ISP, who is this ISP? So ISP means the internet service provider, like your Geo SIM, Airtel. Yes, these guys are ISP. Okay, so what they do? They give you internet, right? The data pack specifically. So you might ask, like, verify what? Like, specifically what they verify. The ISP verifies your request, whatever request you ask to internet, like you want YouTube, you want Google, you want LinkedIn, anything. Okay, still not clear? So let's have a very simple example. Like suppose you open Google on your phone and type in youtube.com. Okay, in your Google Chrome you request to Google that I want youtube.com. First your phone sends, your phone, this phone sends through the data packet to the tower. Okay, then through the tower itself it goes to ISP. Okay, it goes to ISP. Why? Because the ISP check whether YouTube is even allowed in your country, or maybe it's banned. Maybe you are looking for a banned website, so what then? If that website is okay, if everything is great, YouTube is accessible in India, then the ISP checks if you even have an active data pack. Okay, if you don't have an active data pack, then you will see no internet connection. Okay, right? And if you do have the data pack, then ISP forwards your request of youtube.com directly to the server. Okay, so the server, we are now going to talk about the server. So let's go. This is the ISP verification. This is how your SIM looks like. So whenever you search for youtube.com, phone to tower to ISP, and this is how ISP checks in, and then this goes to server. Okay, so this is the server. Oh my god, what is it? Terminator, transformer, what is it going on? So these are the servers, very modern, but you don't need this kind of, there are various routers and computers and maybe graphic card, nothing, so many things going on here. Okay, so the servers are nothing but a computer which is always on. Okay, nothing but a computer which is always on. So don't get in trouble with this much of lighting and wires and everything. No, it is nothing, just connected. These wires are just connecting all the devices under it, but nothing else. This is just a computer which is always on. Okay, so again, youtube.com is always running on such servers. Okay, so like you want YouTube, right? The thing is that yes, you can also build your own youtube.com. Okay, so suppose you built your own youtube.com in your laptop using AI or HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and you created your own youtube.com, but that youtube.com is only accessible to your own device. In order to make it accessible to anyone else, you have to first of all need to make your computers in a way that it is always on, because like you can ask for YouTube anytime, right? Any day, anytime, and it needs to be open, right? So the thing is that to get the access of YouTube, it needs to be in a computer which is always on. That's how you can access it at any time, at any time zone. Okay, so the thing is that these servers are kept in massive data centers where computers never switch off. Why? So that you can send a request anytime, any time zone, saying, hey bro, turn on YouTube for me on my device, on my phone. So after the ISP verifies your request, suppose youtube.com server is not in India. Okay, youtube.com, which is working on a computer, that computer is not in India but in the USA. Okay, so the question here is, how does your request travel all the way there, and how does the data come back? Like whenever you search for youtube.com, it is traveling the light, in the light of like light speed light, right? So in a flash you get those requests, right? So That's where fiber optics cable come in. Okay, so the fiber optics cable here in this particular graph we are talking about fiber optic cable. So in between this thing which is fiber optic cable, they throws the data. Okay, not the data but data signal. Okay, so this is how the wires look like. Or if if you are using any broadband or geo fiber, even I have a geo fiber, so these kind of things you may know about it, this yellow wire and green socket. Okay, so within it is a very small thin wire. Okay, so actually throughout the world these kind of wires exist like this. Okay, just go to the submarine cable map. Yes, so this is the fiber optic cable spread through around the world. This is our India. Okay, so you can see this is the fiber optic cable around the world, right? This is USA. So this is how it works. So these are very giant cables which is under the sea. Okay, and then these are all giant cables which is under the sea, and then this thread of wires go through using ISPs. They provide you all sort of internet services, right? And they give you these kind of fiber optic which you can use as Wi-Fi. Okay, so your request travel through these cables to YouTube server in the USA. Okay, so that server, which is just a computer, receives your request and sends the data back through the same cables, through the towers, and finally to your phone. So this thing actually work in a reverse. Okay, so like your phone throws the data to the tower, then tower throws the data in electrical signal to the ISP. This ISP verifies the user, then ISP sends this data through the fiber optic cable. Fiber optic cable throws this data signals to the server of YouTube, which is also again a computer, a device which is connected to the internet. So then youtube.com server computer throws the data again to the fiber optic cable. Okay, and then through the fiber optic cable, through the ISP, through the towers, it goes to your phone again. Or without using tower, you also know the one way that this fiber optic cable is also coming through your home, which is your Wi-Fi. Okay, so the same thing happened. Okay, I think you got it. If this story made sense, hit like. Okay, because this is real factual story of how the internet works. Okay, so this is how the thing is. Yes, YouTube goes to server, and then this server's purpose is received and respond to request. Great, so you already got the point, you already understand this whole round trip I given you already. Great, so quick recap, you already know that whatever I said, that yes, your phone sends the packets to tower, then tower sends to ISP, then ISP verifies allowed. If there is a data pack, then ISP assign an IP address. Okay, IP address, the tower converts it into electrical signals and send it to your ISP, and the ISP verifies is if YouTube allowed or not, and then do you have a data pack, and then if yes, the ISP assigns your device an IP address. Okay, this IP address, what is it? IP address. So here is the thing, what is IP address? Simple, it's your device address on the internet. Okay, So in the internet, where all the computers, all the devices are connected to each other, whenever your device internet is on, whenever others internet is on, okay, so these devices always share their IP address, okay. So like these ISP, mainly ISP allots it to your device, okay, your Geo, your Airtel, they always have this duty, okay. So if you switch off the net, then the IP itself disappears, okay. So think of it like this, like you wrote a letter saying I want youtube.com, okay. Your ISP say, like Geo or Airtel, that stamps your letter with your home address, okay. That home address on your letter is your IP, okay. That way when YouTube replies, this is how your YouTube replies, the data knows exactly where to go. Without an IP, the data can't find you, okay. So without creating the IP of your device, YouTube server, YouTube data don't know where to go, okay. So let's go the another thing, that these are the major elements. Again, we know that this phone throws the data to tower, to ISP through fiber optic cable, and then server. Simple. Then there is a major part which is DNS, domain name system. Like every site has an IP address. Like you still don't know what is IP address. Okay, Akash, we understand that IP address, but what is actually an IP address? Okay, so IP address is actually kind of a number, like 189. You might know these kind of number, like 198 dot 188 something, like 96.00 something. You might know these kind of number, okay. So this is what the real address of any particular website is, or even your device, okay. So these are the IP address. Now the thing is that you are not going to search the IP address in google.com. like if you want youtube.com, you are not going to search these numbers, right? You are going to directly search youtube.com, these site, okay. This is what you are going to search. So simply, DNS is nothing but every website has its own IP address, but those IPs are long and weird numbers, which is impossible to remember. So humans converted them into a readable name. These are actually the domain name, okay. These are the domain name. This .com is actually a domain, okay. This is in this image .edu or dos or .org, .info, .shop. These are all DNS, okay. So these actually works as, like, you can easily remember, right? You can easily remember these name. You are not going to remember these long addresses, okay. So the one line summary is, again, let's go. Your phone sends the data packet to the tower, then the tower sends this data packet to ISP in electrical signal. Then ISP do what? ISP first of all figure out the DNS, the domain name server, whatever request you have forward, which is youtuber.com. Then what happen is that this ISP understand that, okay, youtube.com, okay, which has a IP address, okay. Now let's figure out where this server is, and then it throws the data through fiber optic cable, and then through the fiber optic cable it goes to YouTube server, and then YouTube server sends through the fiber optic cable, through the ISP, through the tower, through your phone, okay. And that's how you get youtube.com. Great. So what is the main part? Okay, so this again come, okay. So this is how the thing is, and I think you understand whatever going on in this internet thing, which is not that much complex, which is not that much, uh, most of these things is just like whenever you ask good questions, you will understand like what are these elements are. These names always make people confused, okay? But if you just ask chat gpt what this definition is, then they will tell you anyway, okay? So in the next video we will learn new terms of this internet. No, so this internet thing is not over yet, okay? So we will learn in the next video that what is mac address, types of web, okay? So types of web, mac address, client and server, and http protocols, okay? So all in the same simple fun way. So just wait for the next video, okay? And until then, keep it simple, build it bold. Bye.